I, 41-year-old female, met my husband, 42-year-old male, when we were 17 and 18 years old. He was in a band back then with one of my best male friends, which is how we met. I was crazy about him when we were teenagers, but after graduating high school, I moved away for college and we lost touch. Fast forward 20 years. I moved my parents in with me in 2012, and he was raising 2 sons on his own. Their biological mother had been gone most of their lives. We reconnected over Facebook, and the timing was right. We had both been married, divorced, but were at that moment single. I admire my husband for his fortitude. He is an honorable man who did what many men wouldn't have stuck around to do. He struggled financially for many years as a single parent, but got by. He had also all but given up on his music several years prior and had only recently gotten back into it. He is a beautiful and gifted singer and guitarist. It got me when I was a teenager and still tugs at my heart now, but he gave it up to go to vocational school to support his boys. He had sold everything except an acoustic guitar his dad gave him and had almost no gear. So he was pretty much starting from scratch when he started playing again. By the time we got together again, he had gotten some basic equipment. His studio was the corner of his living room, or sometimes the bedroom, with nothing but his acoustic guitar and phone to record videos. While it was more of a hobby rather than a career, music is something he has always been passionate about and loves. Music has also always been important to me. It is a passion we share and brings us closer. We were still dating when he and his dad started an acoustic duo. At first, it was just the two of them. Within several months, they added a drummer and then a bassist. I was very supportive all the while. I sat on FaceTime in the evenings and listened to them rehearse. I would drive 8 hours to come see them play. Oh yeah, I lived out of state at first and would record their sets so they could post the videos on their Facebook page. The first few sets of band pictures they used to promote were photos I had taken. He still didn't have a lot of equipment when we moved in together. With my parents and me here now, I take care of things at home and the boys while he goes to rehearsal and gigs. When we moved in together, I moved us to a house that has a large building across the driveway that we made his studio, a space he had always wanted. I took over almost all the expenses, which left him with his entire pay to cover a couple of his bills, but the rest he was free to use on music. It makes me happy to see him happy. Over the past couple of years, their popularity has increased across the city. Since we've been together, they went from just him and his dad playing at a corner table in a restaurant to a 4-piece band with all the bells and whistles from stage lighting to fog machines. Most of this took place after we moved in together because he was able to afford better equipment and now had a real space to rehearse. My parents and I help take care of anything the boys need, and he doesn't have to worry about leaving them home alone when he has gigs, especially out of town. The band is getting noticed and playing in other cities. In the past 8 months, he joined a second band, so he now plays in both. This band has also built a solid reputation that continues to grow. Now to the point. A local music association just gave my husband recognition for his achievements in the local music scene. An article was posted, and most of it was his self-written biography. He talks about starting to play at 12, mentions the people he has played with before, and all those he plays with now. He name-drops several other past bands and people. He mentions our boys and having gone on hiatus from music for a while to provide for them. He notes a friend that got him back into music, his dad approaching him to start the acoustic duo, and names the other bandmates in both bands. He abruptly ends by name-dropping the 2 bands again and says, "That brings us to today. Keep a lookout for this and that. See you at the next show." He gave credit to a lot of people. But after all we've been through so far on this journey, to get to the end of that long biography and there not be a single word or even a hint about me, I was stunned and very hurt. I wouldn't have known he even had a significant other. But everything I've done to help, the expenses I've taken over so he could pursue this passion, the stress I put on myself with now 4 jobs to take care of this family, the role I've happily accepted with 2 stepsons. He doesn't know any of their teachers or even their doctor. That's all me. The nights I've gone to gigs when I was exhausted because I knew it was important to him, taking their videos/photos for promos, taking the boys to his gigs, getting up in the middle of the night to pick him up with all his gear because of a flat tire, the furniture, lights/pads, guitar racks, even a mini fridge for drinks that I got to help set up his studio. I then smile when he's excited about the 7th bass guitar he just got and explains the tiny thing it does different than the other 6 already hanging on the racks. I could understand if he had done all this on his own and then we got together, but I've been here from the start. I don't care about recognition from others. What bothers me is he doesn't consider me an integral part of all this. Here this whole time, I thought we were in it together. And even if I hadn't done all of that, it's common sense to include a spouse somewhere in a bio. I wouldn't be where I am today without my beautiful wife would have sufficed. When I tried to talk to him about it, his response was, I didn't mention anybody really, like his late mother who bought his first guitar. Okay, so I'm not just anybody, I'm his wife who has supported him emotionally, financially, and logistically, especially with the kids, through all of this. On top of that, to use his dead mother, I'm his wife, not his mother. It's not my intention to downplay the importance of it, but there is a difference between the level of commitment and support of giving a 12-year-old child a beginner guitar versus everything I've done for him. Plus, not crediting his mom doesn't justify disregarding his wife as well. He said I was being dramatic and that it wouldn't have made sense for him to bring me up in a piece about his music. Yet he mentioned a lot of people, including the boys, and I've been literally and figuratively at the foot of the stage through it all. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. So you're the friend that got him into music again? Does he not want to mention you, in case being attached would be bad for his image? Unless he's Robert Plant in the 90s, nobody cares if he's single or not. You've already read many comments that validate your concern. If you bring it up, he will probably gaslight you and say you're making a big deal out of nothing. It's not nothing, though. This assignment he did speaks volumes as to how much he values you. You deserve better. Comment 2. That's really messed up. You have every right in the world to be mad. I got a sense that he didn't mention you, so other women may think he's single, keeping his options open. I would agree that pulling back on making his life so easy is the next step here. He can see exactly what he messed up here. Don't let him water this down. It's a huge deal, and he should be wanting to make it up to you as soon as possible. Now, for the update. Hey Reddit, it's been a wild couple of weeks since I last posted about my husband's biography snub. Buckle up, because you won't believe the drama and surprises that unfolded. First off, let me take you back to when my husband and I were just teenagers. He was the cool guy with the guitar, and I was the girl who was head over heels for him. We had this connection, you know. But life happened, and we went our separate ways. Fast forward through college, marriages, kids, and divorces, and we found each other again. It was like the universe was giving us a second chance. Now, remember how I told you about the music association that recognized my husband? Well, after I confronted him about leaving me out of his bio, things got icy at home. He was defensive, and I was hurt. It felt like all the sacrifices I made were invisible to him. But I didn't marry a quitter, and neither am I one. So I decided to give it another shot and talk to him. This time I laid it all out. I reminded him of the nights I spent recording their gigs, the hours I drove to support him, and how I've been the rock for his boys. I told him how his music was the soundtrack of our love story, and how it hurt to feel like a background track in his life. And then the unexpected happened. Mid-conversation, he broke down. Turns out, he had been feeling overwhelmed with guilt for relying on me so much. He admitted he was scared that acknowledging my role would make it seem like he couldn't have done it without me, which, let's be honest, was kind of true, but his pride had gotten in the way. After that heart-to-heart, things started to change. He began involving me more in his music life. He even asked for my opinion on a new song, which was a first. It felt like we were finally a team, working together on this dream of his. But wait, there's more. At his next gig, he did something that left my jaw on the floor. In the middle of his set, he stopped the music and called me up on stage. In front of a packed crowd, he thanked me. He told them that I was the unsung hero behind his music, the one who kept the home fires burning so he could shine. I was so shocked I could barely speak, but the applause from the crowd said it all. And just when I thought things couldn't get any steamier, he dedicated the next song to me. It was the song that had been playing when we first met, and as he sang, it was like we were the only two people in the room. The connection we had as teenagers was still there, stronger than ever, but the surprises didn't stop there. The next day, he posted a revised bio on the band's Facebook page. This time, it included a whole paragraph about me. He wrote about how I was the backbone of our family, the one who made his music possible. He even mentioned the late nights and the tireless support. I won't lie, I cried when I read it. Since then, things at home have been amazing. We're communicating better, and he's been more present with the boys. He's even started teaching our youngest how to play guitar, passing on the legacy his mother started with him. And remember that studio across the driveway? He's turned it into a little haven for us. He set up a cozy corner with a couple of chairs and a record player so we can listen to music together after the boys go to bed. It's become our special spot, a reminder of how far we've come. My boyfriend's ex won't let his kids meet me, and now I'm pregnant. Oh, and she's dating his best friend. She says she'll let the kids come over, but only if his best friend is there. My partner and I have been together for a little over a year. He has 2 kids, 10 years old and 8 years old, from a previous relationship. They have broken up for 7 years now. We also just found out that I am 12 weeks pregnant. When we first started seeing each other, he told me that the kids have never met a significant other. I told him that I am okay with that for now, but if we get into a serious relationship, that will need to change. After about 4 months of being together and talking about it several times, we took the kids to the fair, and he introduced me as an old coworker, which was a lie. We dropped the kids off at their mom's place, and she found out that I had met them. She immediately called him, yelling at him and telling him that he can be with whoever he wants, but will not see the kids again if he brings them around me. All of this was said in front of the kids. Since meeting them that one time, I have not been able to be around him when he is with the kids. He has since tried to call her, text her, and talk to her in person, but she refuses and is only willing to communicate with him through his sister or through her eldest daughter, 18 years old. Every week on Mondays, he has to text the daughter to find out her schedule. She's a nurse, so whenever she is working, he picks up his kids and then drops them off around 8:30 p.m. when she gets home. We can't make plans in advance because we don't know what her schedule for the week is like, and sometimes when we do, we have to cancel because she switched her schedule and told him last minute. We are now expecting our own child, and I'm really concerned about this situation. Some weeks, he picks them up 3 to 4 times during the week, coming home around 9 p.m. each night, and also has them on the weekends. On those weekends, I don't see him at all. We currently live together, so on weeknights, he takes them to the park or to his parents' house. On weekends, he usually stays with his parents when he has them. I was okay with this, but lately, since I found out I'm pregnant, I'm getting very concerned. I'm not okay with him being gone that much when we have our baby. And then on some weekends, we won't see him at all. He also drives there early in the morning on some days to take them to their school activities or leaves work early to pick them up from their bus stop. I'm afraid that when the baby comes, he will barely be present. However, I'm conflicted because he has a responsibility to his kids. I'm not sure what to do. I feel like I'm alone, and will be raising this child alone anyway. But I'm in a relationship. Should I stay in this relationship or leave? Am I wrong for thinking he is there too much and won't be here with our baby? Eat it. I responded in a comment, but I'm still receiving a lot of questions. Responding here, since many are asking if he is paying child support, he is, and I have seen the direct deposits going to her account. He's sending her $1,800 a month for both kids. He said he will talk to her on Friday when he drops the kids off, and if she isn't willing to talk to him, he's tried several times before, he will let her know that they will go to court. If she is okay with the kids coming over to my house during his time, it fixes that issue. But because she is a nurse, her schedule isn't always consistent. So she gives him her schedule every Monday, and on days she is working, he picks them up from the bus stop and keeps them until she gets home. If she works the weekend, he keeps them all day. I texted him this: "Me, also, what about her giving you her schedule on Mondays? And do you see yourself continuing to pick them up based on her schedule every week?" Him: "What can I do about it? How can I say no to her? My kids, your mom is working, and I won't come to take care of you." He thinks that going to court, he may see his kids less if it's only every other weekend. And he would rather pick them up than have her get a babysitter for the kids when it's not his court-ordered days. Edit: I had Marina in for 2 years, no period. The only reason I found out was because I was feeling sick and throwing up, so I went to the doctor. I was not planning on having kids yet. Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. This is a really understandable fear, and it just won't work with kids. Different families have different parenting arrangements that work for them. But it sounds like here your and your child's position in his life is whatever time is left over. It just won't work. It's also a red flag that apparently he didn't check with his kid's mom that he was going to introduce a partner to them, and the co-parenting relationship doesn't sound very healthy. Honestly, I wouldn't want to bring a child into it either. Comment 2. Get in baby a living and run from this situation now. Even if he goes through court, this won't be settled within 9 months. Like, no way. You're always coming below bio kids, which is good because he needs to be, but also below this ex because he's never reinforced proper boundaries. Legal counsel could have helped him years ago. You won't even have 50% of him if you have his baby. Now for the update. Hey everyone, it's been 2 weeks since my last post, and boy do I have an update for you. Remember how I was worried about my partner's ex and how she was controlling when he could see his kids? Well, things have taken a turn, and not in the way I expected. So my partner finally had the talk with his ex on Friday, like he said he would. He was all set to tell her they'd go to court if she didn't ease up on the schedule. But when he got there, she was all smiles and said she wanted to talk. I thought, great, she's finally coming around. But nope, she dropped the news instead. Turns out, she's been seeing someone new, someone my partner knows very well, his best friend Mike. Mike's been a part of his life since they were kids, and he was the one person my partner trusted with everything. They even worked together at the same company for years before Mike moved on to a different job. And now, Mike's been secretly dating the mother of my partner's kids for months. My partner was floored. He came home that night and I could tell something was off. He didn't want to talk about it at first, but eventually he told me everything. I was just as shocked as he was. Mike had been over to our place for dinner just last month, acting like nothing was going on. But here's where it gets even more twisted. His ex said she's willing to let the kids come over to our house now, but only if Mike comes with them. She claims it's because the kids are comfortable with Mike, and it would make the transition easier. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It felt like she was using the kids to get her new boyfriend into our lives. My partner was torn. He loves his kids and wants to see them, but having Mike around, that's a whole other story. He's been avoiding Mike's calls and texts since he found out. It's like he lost his best friend and doesn't know how to deal with it. And then there's me, stuck in the middle of all this drama while trying to deal with my own pregnancy. I've been feeling more alone than ever. My partner's been trying to be there for me, but with everything going on, it's been tough. The other day, he left work early to pick up his kids from the bus stop, like usual. But when he got back, he told me that his ex had sent Mike to pick them up instead. He ended up sitting in the car, watching them drive off with his best friend. He was so upset, he didn't come home until late that night. We've been talking about what to do next. He's still sending her the $1,800 a month for child support, but now with Mike in the picture, it feels like we're paying for his ex's new life with his former best friend. It's a mess. I've been trying to focus on the baby, but it's hard. I keep thinking about how my partner's kids will be coming over with Mike, and how I'm supposed to act like everything's okay. It's not okay. I feel betrayed, and I know my partner does too. He's been talking about going to court again, but he's scared he'll end up seeing his kids even less. And with a baby on the way, we need to figure out our own schedule too. It's like we're stuck in this weird limbo, and I don't know how much more I can take. I was dependent on my ex-girlfriend Anna because my family didn't accept my sexuality, but she admitted she found my brother attractive, and then I caught her cheating with him. 2 years later, my mom tells me Anna is pregnant and marrying my brother. Oh boy, I cut them all off. But I just found out she cheated on my brother too. And the wedding is off. I, 27-year-old female, was with my ex Anna, 26-year-old female, for 3 years. She was my first partner after coming out. Since my family wasn't very accepting or supportive of my sexuality, I was very dependent on Anna, both as a friend and partner. I loved Anna and was very serious about her. On the other hand, she seemed to treat me and our relationship as a hobby. She was there for me and was loving and all, but we often fought over her not taking me and our relationship seriously. She said I was too attached, and I felt she wasn't interested in a long-term commitment. She still met my family, and on our first night in my parents' house, she confessed to me that she found my brother James, 30-year-old male, very attractive. I found this hurtful, but Anna brushed it off, saying it wasn't serious because she was gay and I'm human and have eyes. Long story short, I caught Anna cheating on me with James. I fought with both of them, and after plenty of yelling and cursing, we broke up, and I told my parents James was dead to me. My parents sort of supported me. I don't think they ever took my relationship with Anna seriously because I'm gay. So while they said they were sorry, they didn't really think it was all that heartbreaking. Anna started dating James after a few months, and most of my family ignored the overlap. They honestly really liked Anna, and the fact that she was with a man now made it even easier for them to accept her. Once again, I think no one took my first real relationship seriously. I didn't know how to explain myself or demand anything from anyone, so I just kept my distance from my family. All this was 2 years ago. 2 weeks ago, my mom called me to tell me Anna was pregnant, that she and James were planning to get married and start a family. I'll admit I was rude and asked, "So?" My mom got mad at me for being so dismissive and lectured me about the importance of family. I was ready to hang up, but I think my mom was on speaker because I heard James and Anna on their side too. Anna said she was sorry about our past, but truly hoped I'd be excited to become an aunt. I kinda lost it and snapped at her. I said I didn't care one bit about her or her baby. I called her a cheating whore and hung up the phone. Since then, James has called me a bitch and told me to not show up anywhere near his family. Even my mom and some aunts have said I was crossing the line. I have shared the details with a friend, and she said I was in the wrong for the name calling and that I should get over Anna, implying I'm only feeling like this because Anna was my first girlfriend and nothing else. I'm conflicted now. Am I really overreacting? Am I being too harsh on Anna or my family? I haven't stopped feeling this rush of intense anger and hatred every time I see Anna happy and laughing with James. It feels like more than cheating, how she takes him so seriously and all but just breezed past our relationship and ended it on a whim. Should I try to forgive her? How do I go about expressing myself to my family from here on? Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. There's a lot to unpack here. It's not just that it was your first relationship since you told your family, but she cheated with your brother, and your family just accepted it. It can make a person feel invisible and insignificant. I would maintain little to no contact with any of them. You can build healthy relationships with a tight group of designated friends and family who actually care about you. I would suggest therapy, but for your own healing. Comment 2. OP, ask your mother if family is so important. Then why did James cheat on you with your girlfriend? James is the one showing he has no respect for you as part of the family. Remind your mother if Anna is willing to cheat on you to be with James, then how does James know Anna didn't cheat on him as well? How does anyone know for sure that James is really the father of Anna's baby? Now for the update. Hey everyone, thanks for all the support on my last post. It's been a wild few months, and I've got quite the update for you. After the whole blow-up with my family, I decided to take some time for myself. I focused on my work and started therapy to deal with the betrayal and my family's lack of support. It was tough, but I was determined to move on from Anna and the mess she left behind. In the meantime, my brother James and Anna's wedding plans were in full swing. My family was all excited, but I kept my distance. I couldn't bear the thought of seeing them together, let alone celebrating their union. But then, the unexpected happened. About a month ago, I got a call from my mom, and she was in tears. She told me the wedding was off. I was shocked. Turns out, Anna had been caught cheating on James, just like she did with me. The irony of the situation wasn't lost on me, and I couldn't help but feel a twisted sense of vindication. James was devastated, and in a surprising turn of events, he reached out to me. We met up for coffee, and for the first time in years, we actually talked. He apologized for not believing me and for how he treated me. He admitted that he was blinded by Anna and that he should have seen the signs. It was a conversation filled with raw emotions, and it felt like we were finally making amends. As for Anna, she tried to contact me too, but I wasn't ready to hear her out. I needed to protect my peace, and letting her back into my life, even just to hear an apology, wasn't something I was willing to do. During this time, I also reconnected with some old friends who had been there for me before Anna. They reminded me of who I was before the relationship and helped me rediscover my confidence. It was like I was finally waking up from a bad dream. One of these friends, Rachel, had always been a rock for me. We'd lost touch when I was with Anna, but now we were closer than ever. She was there for me through the therapy sessions, the family drama, and all the ups and downs. Our friendship started to blossom into something more, and I found myself falling for her. Rachel had always been the one who understood me without judgment. She knew about my family's lack of acceptance and my struggles with Anna. With her, I didn't have to explain myself. She just got it, and the best part? She was serious about us. She wanted a future together, and that was something I had longed for with Anna but never got. Just last week, Rachel surprised me with a weekend getaway. It was just what I needed. We spent our days exploring, laughing, and building new memories. It was during this trip that Rachel asked me to be her girlfriend. My heart swelled with happiness, and I said yes without hesitation. As for my family, they've started to come around. My mom, in particular, has been making an effort to understand and accept my sexuality. She's been more supportive, and we're slowly rebuilding our relationship. It's not perfect, but it's a start. James is still single, and he's been doing some soul-searching of his own. He's realized how much he hurt me and is trying to make amends. We're not as close as we used to be, but there's a newfound respect between us. And Anna? Well, she's out of the picture now. I heard she moved away, and honestly, I wish her the best. I've learned that holding on to anger only hurts me, and I'm ready to let go of the past. If you like this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.